Welcome. You are all my children now. What's up, everybody? This is Culture Junkies Live. I am GQ. We're going to jump right into it. We have an awesome show scheduled for you guys tonight. We're going to be looking at some horror movies. We're going to be looking at some just awesome stuff tonight, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to introduce who's going to be on the panel. We also have a special guest, but we'll get to him in just a few minutes. Directly across from me, but kitty corner, great Daitakuji. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well, like I usually do, sitting right here with my freaking crew.
That was actually, I like that. That was cool. I like that. I want to real quick, because he is directly across from me and dressed impeccably today. Our special guest from Q Reviews, Mr. Q. How you doing today, sir?
I'm great, Chris. But when you announce me, could you announce me as Q Reviews?
As Q Reviews. I will give you that. I will announce you as Q Reviews for the rest of the show, as long as you call me GQ.
Oh, for sure.
All right, and coming in from remote, we have our awesome friends. Fallen Marvel, how you doing, sir?
I cannot complain, guys. I guess we're just here talking more scary Halloween stuff.
Well, apparently that's your complaint right there. Is the scary part is your complaint, and also joining us from remote, a little bit under the weather, unfortunately. We have King Amarak. How you doing today, sir?
I'm all right. My Zoom is crazy.
Hey, that's on you.
You got those crazy.
You got control. We control the digital and we control the horizontal, but you control the zoom on your own camera. So we're going to go ahead and jump right on in with a little bit of news. It's another segment that we call Run the Gamut. So let's run the gamut. A jelly donut? Great, Daitakuji, you had something that you wanted to say. Go right ahead, my friend.
Well, as everybody knows, at today's age, it's all about watching things streaming. You have from Disney Plus to Netflix, Hulu, blah, blah, blah. So these people out there 6 months ago decided to create one called Quibi. And Quibi is basically one where you had Hollywood stars, professionally budgeted movies and TV series, all cut down to like 12 to 15 minutes episodes, separated for how many episodes. And it was supposed to be on your phone where you could watch it in horizontal or vertical, horizontal, whatever, right? It was designed to you could watch it like this. Well, after 6 months, they're dead. Because it's just stupid. I'm sorry. I when I heard about it, I was like, this is dumb. I tried to give it a chance. A friend of mine, shout out to Big Preem, he showed me he had a free Quibi subscription. He showed me one of the shows on there. A good show. Great show. Really good show. It's shot here in Detroit, which was, also good. It starred Liam Hemsworth and Christoph Waltz. Really good. But it was on Quibi. And I'm like, I'm not going to pay to watch 12-minute episodes.
Right.
It's dead. Kevin Hart also had a show on there, and some other people. I can't remember. Like there was a show where these people supposedly found they're like doing remodels of houses, and they found a bunch of money in one of the houses, and the mob was coming after them or something like that. So I don't know. It could have been good, but they could have just did the normal half-hour or 22-minute or to hour shows, stuck it on Hulu, stuck it on Amazon, and those shows probably would have been really good. Break it up 15 minutes and expect this streaming service to do well. Come on.
I mean, that last show you described sounds like HGTV meets the Crime Channel.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
No, that's cool. And now this is a little bit unusual, but our special guest actually has some news to break. So I want to let our special guest, Q Reviews, break his news about Mr. J.
Oh, yeah. Jared Leto looks like he'll be signing on for the Zack Snyder reboots that plan good old J-Man again, the Joker. How I feel about that? Well, he got some large shoes to fill with, coming after Joaquin Phoenix and like huge shoes to fill. I mean, the guy just took hold the statue for playing Jay, the second Joker to win an Academy Award, and Jared Leto has an Oscar himself for a movie. I forgot the movie with Matthew McConaughey, but he won an Oscar as well. So he's a fabulous actor. But I don't think this might not be his lane, to be for. But he's been dying to play the role again. But maybe the script was bad in Suicide Squad, and he didn't get quite the chance to reach the heights that he really wanted to reach. So I'd say if he's just in a Zack Snyder reshoots, I don't think it'd be that bad, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what he can do. You know what I'm saying? One more time. It'd just probably be the last hoorah for Jared Leto as the Joker. So
I think as long as he can resist the urge to send dead animals
to Will Smith
and use contraceptives to people, I think he might do all right. He just needs to tone the method down just a touch.
His Joker didn't seem too much like a Joker to me, though.
yeah.
I think it was the look.
Cholo.
The look.
Cholo
And
Joker.
wow. Hey, I wasn't going to say it. I'm going to let y'all say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
He's doing everything but the accent at that point.
Right. Well, okay. Now, all fairness, just in case the remotes, because I know you guys, we got you a little bit late. Did you guys have anything for the gamut? If not, you can hold your peace. Don't worry about it.
The only other thing, I guess somewhat, some say the same lane movie news. Apparently, some of the MCU cast, MCU proper, like RDJ and Mark Ruffalo and others, are coming under fire for coming to Chris Pratt's defense when people started accusing him of being associated with a church that does conversion therapy with LGBTQ folks. So, yeah, that I woke up to that this morning.
Okay, when you say associated, does it mean that he attends this church? Is that what they're trying to say?
Apparently, he attends this church. Whether or not he actually agrees with any of it, I don't know. But apparently, people came for him after they did a one Chris has to go
Wow.
thing or whatever. So
Wow. One Chris is
people
already
jumped on there and
one Chris is already gone, so they can shut up now. Like Chris Evans is done as Captain America, so there's your one Chris. What do they? That's terrible, man. That's terrible.
yeah.
All right, King Amarok, anything? Or if not, no big deal.
It happened too fast. Nothing really happened this week that threw me off guard, so I'm all right.
Okay, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. I still like that Zelda hat. I might have to steal that next time I come out your way. I'm just
You
just
can't
letting
have it. I'll fight you for it.
We'll figure out something. All right. Well, again, anybody that's there in the chat, you guys can continue the conversation. We are going to move on and talk to our very, very special guest. So we're gonna go ahead and move on, and we'll see y'all soon. Joining us in the studio today, good friend of the show, made some appearances on the show a few times from remote, but we're now glad to say that he is in the studio, in the flesh. Q Reviews, how you doing today, sir?
Yeah, doing great, man. Thanks for having me on, man. It's a blast to be here. Studio's ultra cool, dude. I got a picture of Vigo from Ghostbusters 2 out in the lobby, so I was really pleased to see that. Yeah,
You know who that is? It's Vigo.
Vigo, that's my boy. So yeah, I'm really glad to be here tonight. I'm gonna be talking some horror and around friends, everybody out there. Good to be with you guys. You guys got abundance of knowledge, so I'm just hyped to be here. I'm just so giddy.
Again, it's a pleasure to have you because, like I said, we've all been on the same show before, but it's like, okay, now you finally in the studio, get to feel that energy with the whole crew.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome, man. So for those that the 4 people out there that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. And because again, I enjoy you gotta plug the Q Reviews channel, man, because your content is fire.
Oh,
So
man.
you definitely got to talk about that.
Oh, thank you so much, man. It's been about a month since I put a Q review video out. But yeah, but if anybody don't know out there, I got a channel called Q Reviews with an S, where I just review usually movies and some crazy stuff. I reviewed some Master P noodles. That's a pretty fun video. You know, I'm looking to get my hand on that cereal though. I'm looking to get a hand on that Master P cereal. He coming out with some hootie hoos, and I get my hands on there. I can't wait to review that. And I like to, you know, review silly movies sometimes serious movies like the last Tyler Perry movie I reviewed. I forgot what it's even called. it was so terrible. But I had so much fun ripping into it. You know, and it's
that
fun.
would be a fall from grace. Sir.
Fall from grace. Oh my goodness.
I highly enjoyed that review, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I got to get an Orange Juice Jones cameo in that. Yeah, so I just like to make reviews and be fun. You know, it's cool for me just to sit up and talk about movies. I have the knowledge of that though. But like, if I can have fun with it and do skits. You know, I think in my Venom review, I ate some raw eggs and some ramen noodles hard. That's what I call it. Ramen noodles hard without the water. And yeah, that was fun. And sometimes
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Rewind. You just said you ate ramen noodles with no water.
Yeah, hard.
So
yeah.
so you like styrofoam?
Yeah, like styrofoam
Okay.
and a packet, and then I drunk 4 raw eggs.
Like,
And trying to keep doing a review live because I didn't want to cut,
All right,
but I
Rock-
couldn't keep it down.
All right, Rocky Balboa.
No, it didn't work. It didn't
No,
work like
it doesn't. No,
it came up.
salmonella is a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't want to do that to yourself again.
Yeah, I just like doing crazy stuff.
That's
like
cool though, man. No, and again, like I said, that's why. Like I said, if y'all have not seen this, man, his reviews are fire, and his content is awesome, man. So like, I definitely enjoy
Thank you, man.
what you've been doing, and like I said. COVID and life gets in the way, unfortunately, for a lot of stuff. But so taking a month off, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Everybody got to do it every now and again.
No,
So,
yeah.
Completely
I've been
understand.
meaning to get back. I've been dying to get back. I've been having some ideas. Camera broke at my wedding and things like that. But you know, I'm coming back with some interesting things like that. I think the last one I did with the boys, where I drunk some what is that, heavy whipping cream, and that one. Yeah. I got to drink the mother's milk to represent Homelander. You know?
There's milk.
Yes, I drank some mother's milk, and that one went all right. So yeah, but since then it's been a month off, and I've been dying to talk about a bunch of movies and pop culture things coming off, and collaborating with you guys. So man, this is a blast, man. I love doing this stuff.
Awesome,
I want to have it
man.
any other way.
Awesome. Real quick, out of the chat, want to say what's up to John P. over there on YouTube. Wolverine Solid X, King Takeem. No, we did not get Kenshiro a replacement hand yet. This is my Freddy Krueger glove. Kenshiro will be joining us soon, just to let any of y'all know that that was checking for him and trying to figure out where he was at. He is not, getting a hand transplant or nothing crazy. He is en route. So let me see. Okay, so King Takeem wants to. King Takeem is taking you up on the ramen. He's saying ramen chips.
Oh,
So it's like, okay.
and the packet next, it's like Pop Rocks. It dissolves in your mouth. You take the packet. It's a little salty, but you can get it down.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. That ramen packet, that thing is potent.
Yeah.
That little flavor packet, it's like, holy crap. Like, what do y'all? And again, I understand it's probably just straight seasoning and spice, but it's like, dude,
dude.
accidentally got some of that in my mouth without like putting it in the ramen first. And it was like,
Pepper spray.
hell. But no, it's, so that's cool, man. So, what made you come up with the idea, though, of doing like essentially food challenges in the middle of your reviews, though?
I don't know. Just something different and crazy. Like it's either food challenges or like if I wanted to be like, for my Venom review, I had to look like Venom, when you're on a low budget. So you just got to use the trash bag to do the Venom effect sometimes. Even though I do CG for a living, but, hey, trash bag is way easier than going into Maya and try to bottle up Venom.
Well, and first of all, easier and less time consuming.
Yeah, less
because
time
you just
consuming.
mentioned Maya. I ain't worked with Maya in like forever, and it's just like I'm thinking about I kind of don't want to right now.
No,
But it's like, it's just I completely understand that, but I think doing it that way is more creative because again, and it's not taking anything away from people that do CG work and all that other sort of thing, but coming up with more interesting ways to do it, I guess technically on the cheap, or you know, without like the investment of like, okay, well, you about to spend a weekend doing this whole thing, and rendering, and you know what I'm saying? It's just like
exactly.
you know, so I think that's more creative. It makes it more fun.
Yeah, it's more fun to do that, but you know, and I find it more funny too. You know, I do appreciate good production value, so I try to edit, you know, the best I can and put together cohesive stories and things like that. But sometimes, you know, like I did montage, a Rocky montage for Creed. And, you know, brought out the Nintendo had the Guile music in the background, doing doing push-ups and sit-ups. You know, running around the block. You know, you had to do sit-ups with the NES controller. Though,
Oh, wow.
Left, right,
Okay.
and move. Had to keep it right. So yeah. Anything I can come up in my own house and create up and around my neighborhood, you know, I'll just try to come up with it, and I just have a ton of fun doing it. It's one of my favorite things to do, just to make content, YouTube content, you know, make people laugh and be informative about the subjects that I'm talking about. So I really love this. Back in the day, you know, I had to run around with a video camera, big VHS, beg my grandmother to go in the backyard to try to make a horror movie. Now we can just go up to YouTube and, you know, eat ramen noodles raw. So, you know, I really appreciate that. It's still fun, you know, it's still fun. I love it just like I was a kid. So it's awesome.
And I think that's one thing that we here in Michigan, especially in the Detroit area, are known for, is getting it done. Like, regardless of budget, regardless of whatever, I think Detroit has some of the most creative people in the world, honestly. And then we find ways to get it done. You know, no disrespect to anybody else out there that might happen to be from the Gary, Indiana area. Y'all do your thing too, but.
It's Michael Jackson, eh?
I'm just sliding the remotes. No, I'm just being mean. But to bring y'all back into the conversation, man, do y'all have any questions for Mr. Q Reviews? Because I know y'all have seen his content. I know Fallen Marvel has seen his content. So y'all have any questions?
Sure, dude. Like,
I was actually introduced to him through Kyle. So
there you go.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Kyle as well. Yeah, he did some very creative stuff, and Chris as well. You know what I'm saying, on his dope unboxes and things like that. So I'm a fan of all you guys. So like,
Appreciate it, man. We got to stick together, man.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead, Mr.
Man.
Fallen.
No, I was just saying, like, I mean, obviously, with us taking, you know, unforeseen time off, like, from reviewing, like, newer movies, I'm sure, you know, like, we're going to talk about horror movies soon. So, I mean, what was, like, the at least, like, as far as what you would look forward to reviewing this year that wound up getting pushed to next year?
Oh, what I looked forward to reviewing this year? Oh, my number one, Ghostbusters. You know,
Okay.
I'm a huge.
That guy pushed.
I know we all forgot about Ghostbusters was even going to come out, man. I'm a huge fan of Ghostbusters. You know, Proton Pack made it out of a shoebox with some aluminum foil.
There you go.
Yeah, and this would look like it was going to be the true representation of Ghostbusters, directed by Ivan Reitman's son. So I was highly excited. Paul Rudd, I love, and they was going for the Stranger Things aspect. Cool, because that's popular right now. You know what I'm saying? Make these kids, and they had a huge, thing to do with Egon Spengler, of course, Harold Ramis that passed away. So that was going to be a big plot of the story. So I couldn't wait for Ghostbusters. So that was the one I was really disappointed that got pushed back this year. You know, Wonder Woman as well. I really wanted to see that on the big screen. Yep, yeah. But mainly Ghostbusters and Candyman. That sucks too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, real quick, I mean, sticking with that, actually. Speaking of Ghostbusters, because you said you're a big Ghostbusters fan.
Yes.
What was your thought on the all-female cast Ghostbusters? What was your thoughts on that film?
Or the film?
No, just seriously, because a lot of people get that film grief for various reasons. But what was your thoughts on it?
I didn't like it. To be honest with you, I would tell you why though. Not because of the women, not because of there were women. I had no problem with that. Like I guess I'm not a Ghostbusters purist or whatever. I think it had some mildly funny parts because that director is fired, Paul Feig. And he's a really good director, but I think with this subject matter that he had, I just don't think it was handled the correct way. I think especially with Ghostbusters, you know. The ghosts and the demons are not the punchline, you know what I'm saying? They always took them very seriously. When you look at like Terror Dogs and even the Marshmallow Man, you look, it's comical, but he's not really that comical when you got 100-foot Marshmallow Man crushing the silly.
The Marshmallow Man got pissed when
Yeah,
for a minute. I was like, wait a minute. It's like, because when he suddenly like started looking angry, I'm like, wait. So that's what a Macy's Day Parade float looks like if it's pissed. I'm like, dude, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, dude. Everything was creepy.
And speaking of the Marshmallow Man, y'all remember Muppet Babies, right?
Yo, yeah.
That was their favorite shot to use. They used to use that Marshmallow Man shot walking around the corner almost every other episode. It seemed like, man, it's like, come on, y'all. I understand y'all got the rights to use it, but damn, they used to overuse that. So and again, I think we on the same wavelength on that. I had zero problems with the female cast.
No, not at all. I thought they were
The
good.
problem I did have was everyone was a comedian. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what threw me for that, because with the original Ghostbusters, Bill Murray was the funniest one, period, because he probably improved all his lines anyway. Egon was the straight man, as far as just like things are funny, but he doesn't kind of get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Comedy came from his seriousness, like spores, molds, and fungus.
Right.
It's so serious that it's hilarious. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
He was like, this reminds me of the time you tried to drill a hole. And it would have worked, Peter, if you hadn't stopped me. I was like, this dude is crazy. He Dido, he reminds me of Dex.
Yeah.
He really does. But
that is the Dex.
Yeah, and then you have, of course, Race Dance was like the kid, basically.
Yeah.
But he was also the audience, kind of, in a sense. And then you had Winston, who was...
We see him.
He was supposed to be super intelligent, just like all of them, but they changed that, but whatever. But he was also the audience, too. It was like, dude, like, all this stuff's going on. So, with this film, with the other one, they was just like... Oh, everybody's funny.
Yeah.
Which one of you? It's like all your personalities are the same.
Yeah, they're all the same. They were all the same.
That's what kind of bothered me about it.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that 100% because nobody really stood out. I'm trying to think of their personalities. I don't know any personalities from the female Ghostbusters cast, unfortunately, because they were all the funny one, wonton soup jokes, and I just couldn't get behind it. That's what threw me off. And the Ghost too. I was a little disappointed about the production value from the Ghost.
Didn't think the Ghost production value. I thought that was probably the best part of the movie was the special effects, because it's in today's age. In today's age, special effects. Sorry. Is a lot better. Even if people love the practical effects, nothing wrong with practical stuff back in the 80s. But even if they mix practical with CG today, it still looks better.
Yeah.
So I think they did. I thought that was probably one of the best parts. It was just the special effects.
Yeah. I'm not a
But you're an expert at that stuff.
No. I'm not a practical effects purist or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like I do CG for a living. So I definitely love both. You know what I'm saying? When I seen the T-1000, I gotta know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that Jurassic Park, I gotta know how to do that. You know, same thing with the effects and the Ghostbuster effects in that movie. The only thing I have a issue with it, not for me loving Ghostbusters from up, they just weren't that scary to me. You know, even Ghostbusters 2. Even Ghostbusters 2, I thought Slimer looked too comedic. They started playing the comedic role. Yeah. They started playing to the comedic role. Like Slimer and Slimer 2 looked like the cartoon, and then Slimer had a girlfriend in the new one. I was like driving the car. I was like, oh boy. Okay. You know, it started to get zany and goofy a little bit. Just like, I guess we don't get into horror. We can talk about that. You know, the Nightmare series started to get its.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely hit on that. Yeah. But real quick, out of the chat, we got a couple of people. Let's see. I'm gonna hit Preem in just a second. I gotta pick one up off of the YouTube chat real quick. It was Mr. Rigor Mortis. There it was. He says he hated the Ecto 1 that they had in the female one.
Well, because it was a newer looking hearse.
Cadillac.
So Cadillac hearse sounded like an older looking hearse. So it didn't look as cool, but
and again, I think that's just things that you're gonna run into. But let's see. So big Preem over there off of Twitch. For y'all on Twitch, appreciate y'all following us and watching us on Twitch. He says he's got to disagree. Kate McKinnon stole the movie. Her character Holtzman was the one that invented all the stuff, and that's fine. But she was the Egon, but she was also a Bill Murray as well. Not as much.
I saw her as being kind of like Egon, except for like she knew that she was kind of like funny, even though she was like quiet and talk a whole bunch. Like some of the stuff, like when she had those wigs on or whatever. It's like Egon wouldn't do stuff
exactly.
Like that.
No, and like I said, that's the thing. Each one of them was kind of in their own way a goofball, and it was just like, okay, if you got 4 goofballs, what story are you trying to tell me, or where am I going to see any personality come out? And then you have my man Chris Hemsworth in there being
Oh,
completely crazy.
yeah.
But he was funny though.
Yeah, he
you
made
know.
me giggle. I got
He was big time funny in my eyes.
Yeah. And then the ghosts are kind of silly too. So you got all these silly characters. I mean, along with that. So,
Yeah. Oh well. As soon as he gets his headphone on, we'll introduce him to the show. But we're gonna move on to the Super Nerds Horror Emporium. But y'all keep the questions coming in the chat. Keep the chat going. We will get all of the little small technical issues fixed, and then we will be right back. But check out Super Nerd Plus's Horror Emporium. He's got some very interesting stuff for y'all.
So, you mute?
No, hold on.
What's up, Junkie Nation? This is Super Nerd Plus, and we're here for another episode of Super Nerd's Horror Emporium. And today, we're talking about video games and horror genre. This one, I call this one Murder in the Palm of Your Hands. Get it? That was terrible. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the video games that came out throughout the history of time. Just a little slight touch on certain things. The one I remember the most would be the Friday the 13th NES game and the Nightmare on Elm Street NES game. Two terrible games. Hated them the most. I actually watched some people play it on YouTube just so I can because I never beat that game. It was garbage. Fast forward to now. So let's say 1996. Let's say PlayStation comes out with a wonderful game called Resident Evil Horror Survivor, one of the first Horror Survivor games ever to come out. I'm showing you part 3 because that just came out recently for the PlayStation 4. But let's go back to that original horror. At that time, we had nothing like this ever before when it comes to horror video games. So this was like the ultimate scare factor when it comes to scary games. Now, Resident Evil has been in pop culture since it dropped. Before it was called, was it Bioshock, right? Yes. No, I'm wrong. Biohazard, thank you. GQ, thank you. So Biohazard, it was in Japan, it's called Biohazard. Over here it became Resident Evil. Now, I remember renting that game scared to death because, number one, I had a PlayStation with no memory card, so I was scared because I didn't want to play the game over again because I lost my save point. But what made that game so scary was because the camera angles, the music, the jump scares, it wasn't done before in no type of gaming in history. So this brought a whole new era of horror games. So we're going to fast forward to this game. I mentioned the NES version, but this came out for PlayStation and Xbox like 2 years ago. So now you get to play the killer. You get to play the killer as Jason Voorhees. And it is fun. I advise you to get this. If you haven't played it, pick it up, play it, and you're going to have some fun killing your friends, not in real life, but in digital life. So check that out if you haven't played it out. And Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat has all the horror usual suspects. You have Freddy, you have Jason, you had Leatherface. I don't think Michael Myers is in there. No, he's not in there just yet. He probably will eventually, but you get to play these killers too. That's awesome. Who doesn't want to play that? And it got the great combos. Jason is a beast because you knock him down, comes up in his infamous get up from the ground, kind of like Undertaker. Amazing. So I definitely love that, and the fact that they keep using these horror figures because playing regular characters are boring. Who want to play them? I want to play Jason. I want to play Michael if he gets in there. Leatherface is cool. I like him too. He's awesome. Yeah, man, that's amazing. I don't know what to tell you guys. Just pick it up. I'm a horror fanatic, if you can tell. Actually, these are my girlfriend's stuff, just to let you know. All right, guys, enough about me. Back to the studio with you guys. I'm out.
Scroll down. Chat box right there.
You mean this one? I clicked on that, it didn't do nothing.
Really?
Hello. How are you? It's Kenshiro. I'm the regular host of this show. Y'all kind of been going off without me.
Your fault for being late.
Maybe I don't even need to be here because you got the guests. Y'all been doing the show, everything. Yeah. So what's going on? Q, it's good to see you, brother.
It's amazing what happens when you show up on time.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. I have real life things I had to do with.
That's fine.
So yeah, we've had a lot of technical difficulties.
We had a couple.
We had a couple,
but not a lot.
Okay, so I'm overstating.
Yeah.
So we had a few technical difficulties, but the show must go on. It's still going good because GQ's over here dressed like Freddy Krueger. Q's over here dressed like a combination between Freddy and the Joker.
Freddy?
I mean, not Freddy, Jason and the Joker. Sorry. Jason and the Joker. And I don't know.
Freddy.
Let's just keep it rolling. So
there's going to be more costumes.
yeah, there's definitely going to be more costumes. We won't get Dido dressing in one. He refuses. He
He already
absolutely
agreed
refuses.
to it earlier. He said,
did?
Yeah, you did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did y'all like talk him into it?
This is
Because
during the meeting.
I remember Cos swore he said, "Come hell or high water, I will not be dressing
He is
up."
going to come in as Uncle Phil's character costume from Fresh Prince. He's coming in as comfortable man.
Yeah, comfortable man. Exactly.
Okay.
He's going to bring out. He's going to bring back the spirit of Uncle Phil and coming in as comfortable man.
That's hilarious. So hey, John P, how you doing, man? Sorry, sorry I couldn't be here for the beginning, but
King to King thought you had got a hand replacement. he thought you had, got the hookup, but apparently not.
if I was going to get another hand, I want one of them. I want one of them. One of them Freddy claws. I'd want one of them.
Like,
So anyway, should we jump right into the main event?
Well, that's what we were about to do.
Okay,
but
let's do it.
You came in talking about technical difficulties.
Well, no, I kind of wanted to say hi to everybody. Say I'm finally here, and the show can now finally begin. So let's
It's
go.
already began. Who's already here?
All right, now, so horror movies, the ones we love and the ones we don't. So we kind of briefly talked about Ghostbusters. I caught that tail end. We won't talk about that. But honestly, what are some of the best horror movies that we love, and the ones that, even though they're cheesy as hell and probably have no business being good at all, we kind of still love despite them being very bad? So let's start with, I guess, Q. What's your favorite horror movie of all time?
Of all time, man, I watch so much horror. It's hard to
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. So
dive it down.
Yeah.
But I do got one. I was thinking about this today, and
Yeah.
it is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. I think the
Really?
layers. Yeah. As a
Okay.
kid, I didn't quite understand it, but I was always intrigued by it.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I look at the overall plot of this guy, especially watching Doctor Sleep now,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is probably one of the most underrated sequels of all time, I think Kubrick, like him having the shining power, that he didn't know, him and his son not knowing, and they go to that hotel, which is filled with ghosts that kind of triggers this thing. So it's not about cabin fever, about him killing his his family.
Yeah.
It's also about alcoholism, as you think, and
Right.
you think about it, because he didn't touch his son. He had hurt his son before he went up to the hotel, and then he started to go crazy because of The Shining, and then he didn't really go over that edge until he took that drink from old man, my man down in the bar there. I can't think of his name right there.
I didn't put that together.
Yeah.
He had The Shining as well. That's why
Yeah.
all the stuff was affecting him in
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it was-
Yeah, and honestly,
And the camera work.
you didn't really. Just like you, I don't think when I first watched that movie, I didn't really put two and two together. I just thought dude was just going insane.
just
I just thought he was going insane. I didn't think there was anything supernatural like powers or anything like that attached to it until the whole Dr. Sleep kind of came up. Because I didn't read Stephen King's book.
I tried to read it.
I didn't read Stephen King's, although I've heard they're an absolute trip. But I didn't read his books. But The Shining was one of his films that I did really like. Even growing up, and even that callback that they had in Ready Player One, where they had to go to the hotel and stuff like that. I was like, holy shit, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Spielberg.
So, Dido, what's you do you do horror like that?
Fuck yeah, bro.
So,
A lot of people may not know about me. I may like video games a lot, but horror movies is my thing, and especially when October comes along, everybody has their thing when it comes to Halloween. Some people like to eat the candy. Candy's good, it's fine. Some people like to get dressed up and put that damn makeup on their face. That's fine. You want to do that's fine. I like to stay at home and watch horror movies, and I do love me some horror movies, and I can watch them all year round, of course. But on Halloween, that's what I like to do. I love to watch me some horror movies.
what's your favorite?
My number one favorite is Dawn of the Dead, the original one from 1970.
George Romero.
Yeah,
Nice.
the original Dawn of the Dead. You got Night of the Living Dead was the first one. Then you got Dawn of the Dead, which
Now,
is the
Night of the
second
Living
one.
Dead was black and white, right?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
All right, even though it was made kind of
It was in the late 60s.
Was it the late
Yeah, it was
60s?
late 60s for.
Why
the
do I
first
keep
one.
thinking that was like the early 80s or late 70s?
Because you're thinking of Return of the Living Dead. That's why.
Okay.
Return of the Living
Okay.
Dead came out in the 80s. Night of the Living Dead came out in the 60s. The second one came out in the 70s. I don't remember what year. And even though that's my favorite, I don't need to recall what year it came out. It's not important
Okay.
in honest opinion. What's important is I like the movie, and I really love that movie. That movie
All right.
was great.
All
I
right.
can sit and watch that one all the time because when I watch it, it's not just about the zombies as well. Of course, that has a big part of it, but
Right.
about the people and how they freaking are living, where they have everything that they want, but nothing at all at the same time. So it's kind of
Interesting.
Up. Yeah.
Fallen, what's your favorite horror movie?
Well, personally, my go-to is always Evil Dead 2.
Nice.
Yeah, even that too.
I
Great
love
too.
Evil Dead too.
That's my go-to because I used to watch that like repeatedly as a child. How I got access to it, I never know, but I used to watch that movie a lot.
We
Mainly
found ways when we were kids.
because
We found
It's
ways.
mainly because of the comedic aspect of it. Because as again, like at 4 years old, watching this movie, it's like a live-action cartoon. So it was just hilarious to me. So like, if I'm going to pick a favorite, it's going to be that one. Like I actually own that one. It's like I typically don't do horror these days, but whenever I'm in the mood, like for some type of horror hijinks, like that's the one I go to.
That's crazy you say that because Evil Dead, like I used to read Fangor as a kid, be a huge horror fan, and Evil Dead is like a lot of people's favorite like horror film because it's like definitely trippy with the horror and the effects and the carnage candy in there. It's super bloody. I mean, it's tons and tons of blood.
That's not even a word.
Eyeball flies in a girl's mouth and she swallowed it. Sam Raimi did his thing on there. Good choice by Evil Dead there. I love that film.
I love this series.
What about you, King?
I got a favorite horror movie.
Oh, crap. Who is this guy?
Let him in here. Where did he come from?
Didn't y'all? What's security? Security!
I snuck in.
We see.
We already had one dose of Super Nerd Plus today. We don't need another.
I smell a horror movie talk.
Oh, is that what it
In
is?
the air.
Right. Okay. That's why he's sitting at home with wearing his white beater now. He's talking about horror movies. He's like getting ready to enact the whole hack and slash on his girlfriend and stuff like that, and their kid. Easy. Go ahead, man. Like hurry up, because hurry up. What's your favorite horror movie? On the spot.
High Tension. It's a French horror movie.
Nice.
Okay.
Now see, okay, now he's
Check
going
it out.
exotic. He's going foreign. Okay,
That's
all
a
right.
violent one.
It's
Yeah.
something
I need to see it,
really
man.
need to check out.
It's
Check
wild.
that out. I guarantee you won't be
High
disappointed.
Tension.
It's a great horror movie.
High tension. Okay.
Putting it in a watch list.
Yeah,
All right.
that's the one with the bookshelf or the staircase in a certain body part. I won't spoil here. It's wild, bro.
Okay. King, what's your favorite horror movie?
Unpopular opinion. I actually like The Babadook.
Really?
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
No one likes it, but that was.
I didn't hate it.
Well, you like it, so that's,
Why
that's,
can't
that's
you
all
just
that's
be
all that matters.
Right.
That's more
The
psychological.
movie itself was weird. Like it's Australian. I don't understand a lot of what was happening in their brains, but the character, like the actual thing itself, it was just interesting. It came out of a pop-up book, and like that was its thing. It was just they tore it up and popped back up, and they're like, "Oh, why is there a pop-up book back at the front door?" And then it ends up like living in the basement. Like it was. You got to watch it if you haven't seen it. It was like one of the weirdest horror movies I'd ever seen.
Wow.
It's a psychological. It's a very psychological movie. Like
It is.
That's deep. Man.
People, I think what people confused or got confused about because they expected to be kind of like a typical like horror film, with creature, feature, whatever, and expecting blood and all that, whatever. And the movie wasn't that. Like it was, it's. I mean,
It even had decent dialogue.
yeah. And I think it's just like I think people kind of look at it like it's just like one of those like artsy fartsy movies, but it's like sometimes, like if you keep going to stuff with an open mind, like you can appreciate something a bit more. And that's just one of those movies.
Artsy Fartsy would be a tale of two sisters.
All right, so Mr. Rigor Mortis is asking which vampire movie should he watch with his kids?
Brooklyn.
Vampire in Brooklyn?
Vampire in Brooklyn.
Vampire in Brooklyn? Vampire in Brooklyn? That's the movie that you pick?
I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid.
Right. That's the movie you pick? Is Vampire in Brooklyn? Friday Night?
That's what I was like. That one's violent in the mug.
I love Friday Night.
I love I watched it as a kid. I'm fine.
Yeah. It depends on what. It depends on, like, first of all, how old they are.
Right. So if we're talking like preteen,
And also,
Lost Boys.
depends. Lost Boys is good, but like I would honestly, if you just want to just go straight vampire,
let's go to Bram Stoker's Dracula.
no, that's not a kid-friendly Dracula.
I don't care.
movie, dude.
Dracula dead and loving it.
He
Dracula.
said Dracula did and loved it.
Wow, with the Leslie Nielsen.
Really?
No, in all
The
honesty,
genius of Mel Brooks, man.
in all honesty, it's one that a lot of people don't like, but I enjoyed it. Was Dracula Untold? I actually enjoyed that.
I still
one.
need to see that.
Yeah, that
Like-
was PG-13.
Yeah,
let's do
that's
that.
one that I think that they could. It's vampire and it's it's over the top in some ways, but I think that's something that they would probably
It's a like
enjoy.
extreme. That's a like. So
I can't think of any
But-
more. Like Lost Boys is the only one that comes to mind.
I mean, we're talking kid friendly. What if it's what if they're teenagers? What if they're teenagers?
Teenagers, Fright
did
Night,
it.
Fright Night all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fright Night.
Lost Boys.
Fright Night and Dracula, like Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Okay,
at that
so
point.
Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yeah, Bram Stoker's Dracula is one of the better ones to me, obviously. Friday Night 2.
You just don't expect when they see John Wick. Just don't expect him to be a great
Bro.
actor.
Bro.
He is not that great in that one. But
was they thinking?
Bro. Yes. No. Lancelot Broughton.
that's my brother.
That's your brother.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
appreciate it. Appreciate
I
it.
figured.
Appreciate the follow.
Yeah, appreciate the follow, sir.
Mike Oliver, get out of the chat right now. We are not bringing
So
up-
Mike Oliver was in the chat talking about how he did 2 trips of acid watching Prince of Darkness. And how it fucked up him and his friends. And I was just like, well.
Life or just the music?
No, just while they were watching it, I guess.
So was it the movie?
Yeah.
Or was it the 2 trips of acid?
Well, I'm sure it was a combination of the two that
okay.
contributed to it.
Okay.
So,
Don't do drugs, kids. Don't do
Oh,
drugs.
Monster Squad.
Right.
Yeah, somebody had seen that in the chat there.
He said Wolfman got nards.
Yeah.
Everybody remember that stupid
Yeah.
line.
right.
Monster Squad's great.
So,
PG-13.
as far as horror movies go, well, I'll let GQ go. Then I'll say mine. So, what's your favorite?
Obviously, I'm wearing his costume. Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, and then
Nice.
and then Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Now, see, did you like Freddy more when he was sinister, creepy, or when he started to become like
I liked him
the
both
cracking
ways.
joke?
I liked him both ways, and here's
Okay.
why. Freddy has always had a dark sense of humor, and it works because it was just like some of the stuff he was doing was just over the top. Like all his stuff was over the top. Like he kills the dude in the waterbed. How's this for a wet dream? It's just like some of the stuff he said was just so classic.
Yeah, you couldn't help but laugh at it too.
Right.
It was just like,
Right.
You should like at some point you'd be like, should I really be laughing like this? This dude is killing me.
No,
I
but
can't help
me,
it.
I laughed because I was like, dude, y'all deserve it.
Right,
this is
dude, this is
hilarious
funny.
to me.
This is funny to me.
Right.
We're rooting for Freddy. I'm rooting for Freddy.
Always.
Always. Every movie. Only kids I didn't want to die was like Nightmare 3 Dream Warriors because I thought they were cool kids.
Same
Yeah.
here.
I thought they were cool.
Same here.
Yep, but Freddy had to get them though. They had to
Yeah.
go.
But here's what I like though, like this is why I'm glad Wes Craven came back to do New Nightmare, because that movie, and I think I mentioned it last week, was super duper meta. Like
Yeah.
it was literally like they had scenes where like they were saying the dialogue that he was writing on his on his computer, and like it was ending and fading to black and all. It was just like the fact that he had that concept, and then that he treated the Freddy as an entity and a demon that needed to be appeased with these stories. And then it was like he likes the Freddy character though, and then he steps into the real world. I was like, that was awesome. Like just the whole concept of that was just awesome to me. And they brought in the actual producer of the film to be in the film. They brought in obviously Wes Craven. Robert Englund was being possessed and painting all this crazy stuff, and then all of a sudden, I have to be gone. Me, in case you wouldn't have to reach me and my wife, we'll be gone for a while. It was just like, and then like Freddy shows up, and then you know, because it's like, dude, all of that stuff was just cool, and I really enjoyed that film. Another one that, again, Wes Craven, Scream, the very first one, just the first one. All the other ones after was kind of The first one, I like the concept of it.
I felt like the Scream series was like, especially when what did it get up to 4?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
got up to 4.
Was there a fifth one?
Yeah, it's
No,
coming
I
out
think
with
it's
5.
Scream.
Coming out with 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I always felt like the Scream movies. Yeah, I always felt like the Scream movies after 2, especially like it was like, okay, y'all have gone to this well too many times. Like you've worn out this formula.
Yeah.
It's not working anymore. Like don't keep going back to this
That's
well.
what slashers are, though.
I mean, no, I get it, and it was kind of almost making fun of that genre in a way.
Yeah.
But still, it was like, okay, how many times you gonna make this same movie? It's like
Quick bit of trivia out of Scream. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2. I need to go back and double check it. But there is a part that was in the final cut of the film, theatrical. And I remember noticing this during the actual movie in the theater. One of the Scream, killers throws somebody off of a balcony, and right before they get tossed off a balcony, there's I don't know if he was a grip or if he was just like, it was basically one of the crew was in the shot looking up over, like almost like waiting for like, when are you going to throw this person? And then he ducks back down because they were still rolling. And it's in the final cut of the film. I will, you know what? I'll make sure I get a clip of it, and then we'll run it next week.
and there's no way they missed that. There's no way
apparently there was. That was in there.
There's no way they could have missed that.
Dude,
like
they miss stuff all the time.
But
they miss
come
stuff all the
on.
time. That real quick. That movie that there was a movie I was watching. It was a horror movie. It wasn't a horror movie. It was a super duper D-list horror movie. I think it was called like ISIS Rising or something. It stars like Priya Rai and a whole bunch of other like people. Anyway, there's a scene in that film where you see the boom operator in the shot, and they left it in there. Like, dude just standing there with his mic like these, and they pan over, and you see him, and it's just like, dude, y'all don't see this? And the worst part is he was kind of in shadow, so like, but they were, flooding the shot with green light, so you see him clearly, because it's like he's in shadow, but he's being outlined in green. It's just like, y'all could have just painted over that something, but it was, dude. So they leave stuff in movies all the time.
Okay.
Like all the time.
Love that Scream.
All right, we'll try and keep it moving before we have to get to the
Well, what's
powers.
yours?
Yeah. So mine, I'm more of a Japanese horror guy.
Of course.
So I'm gonna ignore that.
You should.
So I love The Grudge. Like The Grudge is probably my favorite. The first one. I don't like the
Ju-on.
second.
There's no such thing as The Grudge.
I liked. I did like Ju-on.
Oh, the show.
I did like the original, but I really liked the American one that they did.
Oh, yeah.
But I did not like the American sequels. Those were trash. I hated those. Those were terrible.
Yeah.
I liked the original Grudge with Sarah Michelle Gellar and I forget his name from Independence Day. Bill Pullman. That's right, Bill Pullman. He was in there too.
Bill Pullman.
But something about the supernatural horror where it's like you've got this apparition or this ghost, and there's literally no way you can sate it. It's like you're trying to sate it, doesn't work. Doesn't matter. That's the thing that got me about the whole Kyoko thing, because it was like, even though you felt like you burned the house, you killed the curse. No, I don't care. I'm still coming after people. This grudge is never ending. I'm not going to stop, like, ever. That's what I loved about it the most, is because it was like it was unstoppable. It was literally an unstoppable thing. Probably my favorite one, especially with the creepy little boy on the elevator. Dude, that shit was creepy as hell.
She literally untethered the curse when she did that, didn't she?
Yeah, when she burned the house, she let it free.
Well, yeah, but
Smart.
yeah, but I got one thing I want to bring up, but I want to let Q Reviews give all his pertinent social info so the people know before we turn the cameras off. So, just how can people find you, reach you? get in contact with you?
Oh
Tweet you?
yeah.
You know?
Cure, yo, man, you guys got some great choices though. The Grudge and the Scream. I can't believe they killed Drew Barrymore in the first 5 minutes of the movie and gutted her. I was that kid growing up, the Scream kid, the Randy, the video store kid, and the killer. So like I knew all about that. So that's cool. If you want to find me, you can definitely find me over at Q Reviews with an S, where we be doing fun videos. Hoping to get my hands on some Hootie Who's Master P for that cereal review. You know what I'm saying? We got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all right. I'm back. So, I'll be back making videos. Work died down a little bit. So,
Dude,
I'm excited to come
his
back.
Q Reviews intro, the throwback, the callback to the classic movie intermission trailer thing, the drive-in movie trailer thing, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's literally like my favorite. I love that.
Yeah,
that
I
is
always
so
remember,
awesome.
like as a kid, before Woody Woodpecker come on, and then that when you go get the snacks, I used to watch that. So
that's literally my favorite stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So,
real quick, one thing I want to throw to the entire panel, and this might run into the power is yours. What do you guys, and what's your opinion on why horror movies have lost their ability, it seems, to truly be scary? Like everything now is jump scares.
I can answer that question because you got older. That's basically it. You and all of us got older, and stuff like that doesn't scare us. Being in the dark doesn't scare us. Things jumping out don't scare us because you beat somebody's ass. Somebody grab me in the goddamn dark, you getting your ass kicked. I'm not running away. I'm gonna fuck you up.
Right.
So like it depends on who's watching it, because like I was gonna mention, it says according to science, they hooked people up to the heart rate monitors and had them watch movies, and they did a certain amount of movies, but the scariest movie according to people's heart rate is this movie called Sinister. So I decided to watch it yesterday, and of course nothing for me.
you're desensitized.
I enjoyed the movie though. I thought it was a good movie. I thought the way they did it was good. I knew what was going to happen. Actually, I was on the two paths, like either this is going to happen, this is going to happen. I'm pretty sure, but this is going to happen, and it did happen the way I was thinking to it. But I was just like, yeah, I enjoyed the movie, but it didn't. It did have the stupid jump scares, but it had a thing where like he found videos, these Super 8 movies, and when he was watching some of the stuff in the background, and like he had paused it, and the thing just like turns away, and like he didn't see it, but everybody else sees the stuff. Like they were doing some creepy stuff in the background. It was pretty cool. None of that was in the sequel. Sequel was really disappointing.
I'm gonna get to the power is yours, but I want King to definitely have the first take. So let's go.
King Amarak, are you there?
The power is yours.
We're here. I had to go get a water real quick. I'm sorry.
All right, King. So what was it that you were gonna say there?
Oh, now I've noticed that so many people have gotten into like the creation space, and we just have constant access to people being creative and doing a lot of horror stuff. Well, I mean, just things in general, and every movie that comes out at this point is just more saturation from other things. I don't know if it's a thing that we're desensitized, or we just kind of know how everything is made now. We have like too much access.
Okay, so essentially you're thinking from the aspect of we've seen like basically how all the effects are done. We've seen how like a lot of that is done. It takes away from the mystique and the kind of the psychological play that's at hand. Okay.
I think it's some new blood out there, and like directors, of course, like Jordan Peele and Ari Aster, who directed Hereditary and Midsommar. Come up with new content.
Midsommar.
Yeah.
That would be scary if you were in that situation.
Yeah,
it's like,
This is
bruh.
really- never take mushrooms in Sweden.
Yeah.
I seem to recall finding interest in Dr. Sleep because I watched somebody's review on that.
What is that on?
Yeah, Dr. Sleep is amazing. I think it's the perfect sequel to The Shining.
I
And
watched your
then the
review.
sins. Thank you so much. I kind of figured you were talking about my review, but yeah, I think it's the perfect sequel
it's
to The Shining. Sins of the Father. You know what I'm saying? Rekindled at the end there. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. That's an awesome movie. I think it's new blood out there for horror, but I think we're just so desensitized by like the trash, the paranormal.
Yeah,
activity,
paranormal activity, my
Yeah.
God. Dude,
I mean, I wanted to like those movies. I really did.
dude, I sat in the theater for the first one, and I was in the theater laughing my ass off because I'm like, how stupid are these people? And people are like, get scared. I'm like, get out of here.
Here's where they lost me on that one, and I'm pretty sure anybody sitting in this room would agree with me. When they brought the Ouija board in, and the Ouija board caught fire, and it's like, are y'all recording everything? So did y'all not watch the playback, right, and see the Ouija board catch on fire by itself, just sitting there, right? I'm like, dude, I don't care what you paid for the house, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm done. You can't get your money back, so what? I'm good.
But that was one of the things in Sinister. Mm-hmm. When you moved from your house, that's when everything went down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know, and again, I have no problem with that. And I think, like I said, and that's why I posed the question. Because, again, back in the 80s when we were all younger, watching, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, okay, the boiler room found a way to seem like every single room in your house. It found ways to, like, mimic various things in your actual house. So it was messing with your head. You like...
That clown and poltergeist, remember that? Like that was in my
See,
room
I've never
every
had a
night.
problem with clowns, though. But the clown with poltergeist was creepy as all get out.
The tree.
What were we gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say because Hannah's over there saying it says movies can still how do you say? Because now I went up there. Movies can still be scary if you engage with them in good faith. When you say, "Okay, movie, I dare you to scare me," I'm gonna tell you something. I don't go, "Hey, movie, I dare you to scare me." I sit down and watch a movie, and I just let it do what it's supposed to do, and it just. It's not that. It's like, okay, the way my brain works. Okay, what would I do if this happened to me? How would I act? How would I do this? And that's why it doesn't scare me because I would not act in the same way. Now, like I said in Sinister, everybody in here, when he started going on now, because like he got into an argument with his wife, and it got to a point in the movie he was just like, "You're right, let's go." He's like, "So I'm done with it. Hold on." And he's like, "Let's go." But that's when the shit started to happen because nothing would happen to you in the house. As soon as he was like, "We out," that's when the shit started to go. Because everybody here would do that stuff. So that would be in your mind like, man,
That's
what would you
interesting.
do? But it's not like it's going to scare me like I'm a kid because kids are stupid. I'm sorry for parents out there. They aren't. They don't know anything.
Right.
And
They think they know everything,
Yes,
but they don't.
A lot of kids think they know anything, but they learn. They do experience certain stuff, and you know they have wild imaginations and let their imaginations take place.
Guy
But
Gardner
it
on
just-
Twitch brought up Pumpkinhead.
Great creature designed by Stan Winston.
So, also John P is asking a question: do you prefer slow or fast zombies? I like zombies that run. Now,
Slow.
the whole thing with World War Z, when them zombies were moving fast as hell, you were just like,
Yeah,
that was like that just looked unnatural. It was
Well,
just
they were moving like lemmings.
well, yeah, that too. Yeah, they were moving like lemmings,
That's
but
what
it was just
that's
like
too fast. Because
Yeah, it's too fast. It was
beings don't move. I mean, look, fast zombies don't make sense. A zombie is dead. It's decomposing. It should not be moving fast.
right.
The remake of Dawn of the Dead, I liked those fast zombies because it was very similar to the 28 days later. It was it was almost treated like it was an infection, and it's like, yes, most zombies are rotting flesh and dead and blah blah blah, but right at that moment when they change, you still pretty spry. I was like, that's what I liked. That's what I liked that movie. It made not only just the numbers. It was like, no, these dudes can catch you. And they'll gang up on you and tear you apart. That's what I liked about that film, and that's why, and of course, Mekhi Phifer got killed.
Not
so that's
the
hilarious.
change it, but I don't know if this was mentioned. I don't know if where you at, Mr. Rigor Mortis, when it says "and it followed him," but did you ever see the movie It Follows?
Yeah.
Because that's a movie that you can also see that could be scary because this whole thing was basically a sexually transmitted disease that if it caught you, it was going to friggin' kill you, but you don't know when it was coming. It looked like somebody you knew.
Right.
So that right there could be.
They had like old women with their clothes off.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
There was a movie that came out not too long ago, and this is still sticking in the horror genre, but it was a movie I really wanted to like, but just ultimately in the end just disappointed me. I think it was either From Hell or To Hell, and I think it was
No, From Hell is Johnny Depp, if I remember correctly.
okay. To Hell.
Yeah, from with Sam Raimi with
Yes.
like the
Yes.
Dead ripoff.
Yeah, basically where the girl gets cursed by the girl's like a lender at a bank, and this old
No, that was Drag Me to Hell.
Drag Me to Hell.
Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah, I don't know why. Drag Me to Hell. Drag Me to Hell.
I saw that in the
I was
theater.
so
That movie was
so
funny.
did I, and I was
funny,
so
dude.
disappointed by that film.
It was funny up until the end because you thought she was gonna get away. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
no, it was
But
just
that's
like,
why I liked it though, because it was like, nah, it's like if you would have just been your normal self, nice person, gave that lady her loan, you'd have been straight.
Yeah.
And then, but
She
see,
kind of got pressured into denying it.
she did. It was her damn boss's fault.
hey, we all make choices, and we got to live with the consequences of those choices. Because
She really was pressured into doing.
She really was.
that
Yeah.
movie was hilarious.
bad.
That movie was
And I
hilarious.
guess that's why it disappointed me, because it was like it was so unintentionally funny. It was just like, really? It was like, how stupid can this is so dumb.
Yeah, they had tap dance and goats or something.
I haven't seen that in a
so funny.
I need to go back and watch it. I
That
haven't
movie was
seen
so
it in a
funny
while.
because it was just like,
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, because remember they tried to get the demon to like go get transferred over to the goat,
Yeah.
and the goat ended up biting that dude, just dancing, dude.
Yeah.
That was so funny to
I was
me.
just like, oh my god.
But to me, I think, in all honesty, anybody that was like born, raised in the church, if your parents, took you to church or whatever, I think the demonic films are the ones that can kind of be a little bit more scary because it's like you sitting there like you sitting in church. It's like they teach you about
Exorcist.
demons and possession, all that stuff all the time.
Exorcist.
So, no, the first Exorcist,
Was
if they would
a
have done
classic.
it, if they would have showed it the original way though, like because they've gone back and put some of the deleted scenes back in.
Yeah.
That film is trippy for real. That movie is. That
I don't
movie is
think I
still
even
trippy.
saw that movie until they re-released it in the theaters with the original treatment.
Yeah, the spider walk.
You
and
with
all
the
that.
spider walk down the stairs?
walk, yeah.
That was the first time I ever
Yeah.
saw that film. I was like, oh shit. That was- yeah.
Crazy. My grandmother used to watch that on repeat on videotape every day. So I used to watch it. Yeah. My grandmother.
Oh, every day?
Every day. So I was desensitized by it as a child. Like, oh, it's old Linda Blair throwing up
I have
again.
to understand why was she watching this every day?
I don't know. She just loved that movie. She loved that Prince of Darkness. Maybe she was, I don't know. My grandma was like into horror movies. That's how I got into it too. Because But then as I grew up, I kind of forgot about The Exorcist, and I watched it alone in the house. The version you were talking about with the lights off when it was raining. I was kind of freaked out. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of creeped out. Like, whoa. Now I can like The Shining. Now I can accept this, and this is something's about that is not right. And like that weird demon face. It was like demonic possession. I mean, that freaks people out. So,
Well,
for
the
sure.
other one for me was Amityville, the original.
Yes.
Because
That pig.
finding out like
Yes.
some of it's real and all this, and it's like that stuff was like, dude.
Was it Margot Kidder or James Brolin, right?
Yeah, Josh Brolin. I mean, sorry,
No,
yeah,
James Brolin.
James
Yeah.
Brolin. Yeah, his father.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Amityville.
that movie was crazy.
Yeah.
Because that's the house itself was just completely haunted. But speaking of that, so, and I know we need to wrap it up and go. So, last question for everybody in the panel to answer. So, do you feel like it's almost impossible for us to ever be really frightened by any of these films anymore? Because like Dido had said before, we're older, we're kind of desensitized, we know this stuff ain't real.
Right.
So how do we replicate finding that thrill of getting that chill down our spine? Like, ooh, yeah, that's wild. How do you do that?
Personally, I feel like it just has to be. The thing is, the only way to really do it, especially like at this point in now, is that you got to get unconventional. Because part of the problem is that horror movies have gotten too conventional, and you have a few of them that have come out and have done something different. Like, honestly, the last horror movie that creeped me out, like genuinely creeped me out, outside of The Grudge, was the first Insidious. The 1st Insidious was like, even though it was PG-13, it did a lot. It actually was able to accomplish what a lot of R-rated horror movies like fail to do, because part of the reason why it doesn't work is because, again, it's always like false jump scares. It's always somebody, someone turns around, somebody's there out of a joke, and it's like it's no real payoff or whatever. So it's like when you kind of like have you got to have that false sense of security. And it's like if they fail to like give you like false sense of security, it's like it's different when like the conventions. It's like okay, you know the scare is coming because it's like it gets completely quiet and then they turn around, loud sound. That's pretty much what it is. So it's like you gotta have to catch people off guard. That's why people look at stuff like Get Out and Midsummer and stuff like that, whatever, because it's unconventional. It doesn't fall into those same conventions where it's like, okay, you can see the scare coming.
Do people really think Get Out was scary though?
I mean, I love the concept.
I love the concept too, but
I don't think it's really scary.
Nah, I don't think so.
I know it was funny.
Yeah. I do have a good one if you wanted to be scared this Halloween. Watch the Haunting of Hill House season 1.
I do want to see that.
Yeah, watch season 1.
What about the Haunting of Bly Manor?
Yeah, I'm watching Blind Man. I'm a little bored to death though.
Okay.
You know, I'm bored to death. It's a love story. It's strong. Mike Flanagan, who directed Dr. Sleep, directed all the episodes in episode 1. And it's some truly terrifying stuff in there. Just where you were talking about like sinister with the things in the background and you don't quite do. It's not your conventional jump scares, and the stories and it's very well written and very well acted. So I definitely recommend this Halloween, The Haunting of Hill House season 1.
I enjoyed it. I enjoy watching it.
All right. So cameras back up. Let's get ready to wrap up the show. First and foremost, I want to thank our guest Q Reviews for coming in and joining us in the show today. I know horror is your bag, but movies in general are kind of more your bag. So we would love to have you in and rap with some movies with us more.
Anytime, man. I'm so
long time coming. We trying to get you in here.
Thanking you so much for having me on the show. It's been a blast. It's just been like I've just been kicking it with my boys how it should be, and just talk about the things that I love as a culture junkie. And thank you so much for having me and everybody out there watching and in the panel. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. All right, y'all. So next week's show is Mandalorian season 2 is finally going to be here.
Yes.
Not to mention that, but you know, that's the week of Halloween as well. We're gonna have a costume party while we're. Dido's already shaking his head. He's just like, nah, we gonna find a way. We gonna find a way to get this man in costume. So anyway, look forward to next week's show. Come back 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central for the next episode of Culture Junkies Live. I'd be remiss if I didn't address our Culture Junkie patrons, DeMarcus Smith, Wolverine Solid X, and Fabner Life, along with Nanette Net. We want to thank you all for your support. If you would like to support the Culture Junkies yourself and becoming a patron, please hop over to patreon.com/Culture Junkies. We have 3 different tiers for you to choose from, starting as low as $1. So, any last comments before we bounce out, gentlemen?
Well, Andy Omega said, "Hold Dido down and dress him up." I'm not gonna hold.
I'm not holding him down.
Holding down no grown man.
Yeah, right. I'm not doing that.
That's odd.
Yeah.
For any other creepiness, if you guys aren't in familiar, Hellstrom is.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to start watching it.
And the
today.
full season is on there. I just finished it. I thought it was a pretty good.
So they didn't do the whole week to week. They literally just released the whole season as a binge.
The whole season.
All right. All right. Okay. So definitely we have to check that out. Everybody's got some homework to do. So anyway, y'all. Thank you all for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, come back next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Till then, I'm Kenshiro. See you guys then.
Peace, everybody.
Peace out.